Hello everyone and welcome. There's a couple things I want to run by before I get into this video. First, I'm going to put an annotation up right here. Boom, there it is. That's going to be a link to Daz's channel, and more specifically a video that will show our first group session for this multiplayer game. That will be turns 1 through 24. The reason why I don't have a video uploaded on that is because for whatever reason, along with my introduction video, which I did upload, my mic audio for this first session was really low. Like, you could not even hear me in my recording. So I highly suggest, if you haven't already, to go to Daz's channel and watch turns 1 through 24. Also, the next couple videos, most likely, at least on all of our channels about this multiplayer game, will just be our, us singly going over our turns. It's not going to be any group session. So what we wanted to do is, originally we were going to do an introduction video, go off on our own, record a couple videos, by ourselves as our turns progressed, and then we were going to, do a couple group sessions intermixed. But the first session just kind of turned into a giant 2-year playthrough, which was really fun. Had a blast, and look forward to the next group session. But until the next time, it's just going to be probably a series of short videos as I take my turn, because the way that the multiplayer is set up in Dominions is you all connect to a server, and after you take your turn, you submit your turn to the server, and after everybody has taken their turn, then the server will move. So that gives the players, if they have something to do that day, they can just log in real quick, take the turn, submit it, wait for everybody else to submit their turns, then the turn flips, and then we can go again. So most likely the next couple videos are going to be kind of quick as I take my single turn, submit, and then end the video until we get to our next group session, which then hopefully I won't have any mic problems and I'll have uploaded on my channel. Most likely Daz will have it on his, as well as PPCC. So anyway, so yeah, go watch 1 through 24 on Daz's channel. If you already have, welcome back. I'm going to go through the next turn here. We're going to read the messages. So this will probably make sense if you saw that video. Alright, we've received a magic dwarven hammer from Vine. Oh, okay, cool. So Daz actually sent me a magical dwarven hammer. He's been making them for quite a while, and he's sending them to all of us so that we can start constructing or forging items. He also relinquished Andoria to me, right there with that throne, and he's also going to relinquish this province to me, I think. I'm pretty sure. Alright, what else happened? There's a few battles. We can actually just watch these. This is really cool that we can watch all their battles. So, Joe, who is the representative from Illwinter, is the Kalen faction, so this is going to be the Abyssia, one of the enemy, versus him. Let's view the battle. Alright, so Abyssia on the left there. Joe's forces on the right. I'm not sure if he wins this or not. Ooh. Actually, I don't even know what these Abyssia forces are like. Let's see. 17 protection? That is insanely high for the Middle Ages era. They have heat +3, fire resistance 25, that makes sense. Oh, this is also experience, so that's probably not the base that this unit generally comes with. Magic resist 25 or 12, hit points 15. Yeah, that's a beefy guy. A lot beefier than Kalen's support troops, and especially these light infantry. I don't think this battle's going to go well for Joe. Let's just speed this up here a bit. Ooh, God, no. Yeah, I think Joe lost this one. Jeez. That was a massacre, but that was also only a garrison force. That wasn't his actual army. So the brown player is PPCC. Let's see how his fight went against the Abyssians. This is actually a choke point to our part of the map, so hopefully this went okay. That's some beefy troops that they have. What is... Oh. Alright, that obviously did not go well. Alright, so at the end of the 1 through 24 turn, I was assaulting the Satis castle, my goal being to lock them in their castle so then we can focus on other enemies that are encroaching on our borders. So hopefully this went okay. Now this is just the province battle, so this is just against their garrison. They have a large army that I'm going to have to still deal with. Yeah, I'm sure I beat this, because these troops are insane. I'll go over all the troops later, and actually for the first time for me, but I'll get into that here in a bit. So the glowing troops are my sacred troops for this faction. They are pretty damn good. Look at that, no damage. Sacred mother trucker. Look at them just tank. Although I think the statist troops aren't that great anyway. There's no way that their base stats are 6 and 8. That must be because the morale is down or something. No way there's stats are that low. Really? Are they? Well, they all have the same morale. Anyway, they're still not that great. It must be their commander there in the middle. And he's dead. Okay. So clearly I won the battle for the province. Now I'm going to be sieging their castle. Alright, so PPCC attacked an Abyssian province at the same time. Let's check how that went. Let's see. So these look like his troops, archers. Let's see how beefy these guys are. Oh, these are sacred troops. Berserkers. They're starving. That's not good. The stats are okay, but I'm wondering if since they're starving, their stats have been lowered. Jotun Battle Axe, 31 damage. That's a ton. Is this their like militia? Yeah, Jotun militia. Yeah. This one's also afflicted. Can I get like a guy who's not starving or afflicted? Anybody? No? No? I can't believe that that's their base stats. An 8 and 9? Oh, maybe it is. It is just a militia. Anyway. What are they fighting? This looks to be a garrison force, not an actual Abyssian army. So let's hope that they do okay. Whoa. Volsung casts rain. The spell creates a heavy rain upon the battlefield. This makes it harder to fly, and the heat effects of Abyssians and other hard creatures are severely reduced. Nice. Fire magic is more difficult to use during heavy rain, as all non-underwater fire spells. Okay, cool. I don't even know if I've ever cast that spell before in this game. For some reason, his archers are running away? Oh, maybe because these guys. Ooh, Sacred Abyssian troops. I'm pretty sure that PPCC wins this fight. Ooh, God. Look at them cleave through those poor archers. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. He won that one. And then you have Joe versus Machatka. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Let's see how this one went. Yeah, Machatka. So Machatka and the Statists were the two mighty AI factions. The other two, I believe, were difficult. So they've been giving it to us pretty hard. If you watch the video on Daz's channel for the first 24 turns. Look at these flipping mammoths, man. Holy crap. All that trampling. Let's speed this up a little bit. Look at them just go through the lines, and then there's the rest of his army attacking the back line. Wow. Yeah, those guys got destroyed. Pretty bad. Alright, so we have started to destroy the gate at Fort Satis, but we need more time to succeed. Alright, so this is the map after 5 turns now. So PPCC, in case you haven't watched the videos on Daz's channel, he's been holding our top flank here against the Abyssians, although they have kind of poured through into Joe's lands, I think through these mountain passes. So just to go briefly, the original idea, since we are a Cold 3 nation, was to spread our dominion on the other side of these mountain passages so that the Abyssians could never cross, because the mountain passes would be closed due to it being Cold 3, and they would be like frozen over. So that would force them to go either up here through this choke point or down here through this choke point. But unfortunately, the Abyssians got there first with their dominion, and so now they're pouring through. I believe Joe's plan right now, again, Joe being the Kalem, represented by the blue flag, is to push these guys back and spread our dominion here to freeze these mountain passes forever. My plan right now is just to keep the Satis in check, and also, when that happens, to move up my armies and try to fight back the Machatka. They are also, like I said, another mighty AI, and it shows. They've been doing pretty good. But, so my current plan is the Satis. They still have a large army in that castle. They still obviously have a couple large armies out here. So I have to deal with them, and they most likely have the Tir na Nog island as well, and there's only one way to get through there, so I have to go through this city of, what's this called? Wrath something. I can't read that, but it's the province of Gol Amrod. So my initial plan that I covered in my introduction video was to take out the sea tiles with my undead armies. That has not happened yet, obviously, because the statists have been pressing against us, as well as the Machatka. And also, I don't have enough death gems to really raise a undead army. Speaking of, where is my disciple? Here we go, Tokshin. So yeah, this is my disciple. He is immortal, which is awesome. If an immortal dies within its own dominion, it swiftly rises so that they don't have to be called again. He's cold resistant, which obviously is awesome for being in a cold 3 alliance here. Undead is really good for that. He's a poor amphibian, as I believe all undead are. Let's see, sacred, because he's a disciple. A lot of research if I want it, but he has a level 5 death mage, 3 air mage, and 3 fire mage. So yeah, he's pretty powerful. He is pretty powerful. The problem is, I don't have enough death gems to really start casting an undead army. I do have... There he is. I do have a Bane to also lead my forces, my undead forces specifically. Alright, so now I have to deal with these guys. I have to keep this army here to keep the statists in check from ever recruiting anybody else. So I'm going to have my secondary army here, which Putin is actually a mercenary I have currently recruited. Yeah, so I'm going to move these guys up. Check my defense. Let's see, there's 50 or about 50 troops there. I have defense 35 there, defense 32, which is going to be bolstered by my army. Alright, so I think these guys are pretty much... Well, I don't want them to take this land and then come up here through my back line. So actually, I'm going to increase the garrison by a little bit more. That's a bit too much. Because I'm looking at the garrison here. We have a lot of cavalry, heavy and light, so that's really good. Backed up by our archers and basic Huskarls, so I think that's going to be enough. So hopefully this army can take these guys out. I have a bunch of researchers back at home researching my conjuration magic. Also, you know what? I didn't even have a chance really in our first group playthrough to go over all my units. I've just been building the same couple because I didn't want to hold the game up by going, really in depth into my race. And I've never played the Venaris before. So how about we just go through that real quick? I apologize if you already know the race, backwards and forwards, but I don't. So let's take this time to go back to our main castle and recruit units. Alright, so the units I've been recruiting have been the Venarisian Huskarl, who's cold resistant, as I believe all the Venarius people are. But basic stats, very basic warrior, but what I like about them is that they have the javelin attack. So before they actually enter combat, they just chuck those javelins, and that could really weaken a force as long as they don't have like a high protection, I believe. And then they have a basic spear attack. So these are basically the troops that I've been using on the front lines, for the first 2 years of this game. And as well as these Oathbound, which are awesome. They're awesome. If you watched the video on Daz's channel, you've probably, well, you didn't actually witness any of the battles, but I guess I'm thinking about when I was playing. So let me just tell you, these guys have been kicking some major ass in the first 2 years of this gameplay. When they are blessed, they are insane, because they also have Glamour, which is an awesome skill to have. They're also stealthy, which I haven't really taken advantage of, but yeah, these guys kick ass. So I'm actually going to keep recruiting them as much as possible, so I can recruit up to 6 holy people per turn. Sacred people, I should say, not holy people. Alright, besides them, I think I've recruited one of these guys simply because he's a priest, and I've been putting him with my sacred troops so he can bless them. And I think that's it. So let me actually go through and see what the rest of my army is. These researchers are pretty cool, by the way. I've also used these guys a lot because they're adept researchers, so why not cast them to be research people? So they are basic level 1 air mage, but the thing is they have guaranteed 2 additional levels of, well, there you go. They either get one of those and one of these. So I think they're pretty good, especially for researching. It's amazing. So let's go through the basic troops first. These are going to be guaranteed to be recruited because they can only be recruited here. One of my initial buildings you start with, Here we go. So the Novgard enables recruitment of Oathbound and the Vanabog. So that tells you right there that I'm only ever going to be able to recruit my Oathbound at this province, which I think is pretty similar for all races and their sacred troops. I think they can only... I could be wrong on that. I don't know enough about all the factions, so I shouldn't say definitely that they can only cast them at their home province. What else is here? Pine of Skulls. Okay, so the Chud Skin Shifter, and then the Oathbound and Vanabog. Let's check the other out. Is this... Okay, so I can only recruit him here, and I can only recruit this guy there. Okay, so what is the Skin Shifter? Forest Survival, Mountain Survival, Berserking +1. So here we go, Berserking. The unit is capable of going Berserk if wounded, which increases their stats, I believe, by the number that they're berserked. So it would be +1 to, I think, most their stats. And also, this guy automatically hears Afflictions, which is really good. Forest Survival is really good. As is Wasteland. Like, this is really solid right there. His stats, let's see, 18, Protection 7, Magic Resistance 13, which is really high. Morale 13 is pretty good. Strength 14, really good, especially for like a human. Attack skill 11, that's slightly above average. The others are pretty much average. Limited recruitment. Oh, wow. I wonder why. Are these guys like that amazing to only be limited recruitment? Let me just see here. I suppose. I mean, they do have a lot of good skills here, like passives. Max, oh, just 5 a month. Okay, so, do I want to recruit any of these? I'm not sure. Let's keep going through here. So the Oathbound I know are sweet. Chud Herdeman. Let's see, 25 gold, 21 resources, 17 hit points, 17 protection, 12 magic resistance. These guys are really good on magic resist. Morale's pretty high. Strength is pretty high. I mean, these guys are like Nords and Vikings, so that's really cool that their strength is really high. Attack skill 12, which is really good. Defense precision is basically average. They get 2 attacks. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good unit. Very expensive, but definitely worthwhile, I think. Let's just... We're kind of going in reverse order because it's typically the worst troop to the best troop, but we'll just keep going here. The Venaresian Herdman. So this is like the upgraded soldier that I've been using, I think. So for 12 and 19 resources, we get a soldier who has 10 hit points, which is average, completely average. Protection 13, that's okay. Magic resist 10, there we go, that's kind of average now. Strength 10, average. Attack skill 11, defense skill 14. But they also come with the shield with a parry 4. So I believe that kind of basically brings the defense skill up to 18 with the parry. Because if the person gets higher than 14, then it will go onto the shield. Then, of course, if they get higher than the shield's parry, which, you know, together would be 18, then they just hit them for full damage. But at least with the shield, if they hit them, they will reduce the damage by 16. Yeah. So that's pretty good. They also have the javelin attack, which is awesome. And they get a... Oh, that's a broadsword. That's not a spear. My basic attacks, or my basic units have spears. Still, whatever. These guys are pretty good, I think. I think these guys are basically the same. Protection is slightly lower. Defense skill is slightly higher. No, defense skill is lower. The thing is, these guys have an axe. And javelins. Why would I want to use these axemen more than the guys with swords? They're 12 and 17. Oh, 12 and 19, so slightly less resources. Okay. I still think I'd probably just go with the swordmen, unless these guys are better. So these are technically the upgraded ones of the people I've been using, which are right here. So let's see what these guys are. 10, 13, 10, 11, 10, 11, 13, 10. 10, 11, 13, 10. 10, 10, 12, 10. Alright, so they do have higher defense, higher attack. Is their protection higher? By 2. And the morale is 1 higher. Other than that, I think they're about the same. Damage-wise, I mean. Oops, that's the wrong one. 13 and 12. Yeah, I think they have the same equipment. Okay, so is that worth it? For the additional stats, these guys are 10, 12 resources. These guys are 12, 17. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say it's worth that upgrade. And then these guys are just the unupgraded form of these axemen right there. So, as far as... Oh, right, and archers. I've never actually recruited any of these guys. They have a range 30 short bow, which only does 9 damage. They have 10 precision, which is very average. These guys are just an average archer. Nothing really insane about these guys at all. Alright, so for my commanders, we have the scout, who's... I mean, everyone has a scout. He's nothing really crazy, it looks like. We have our basic commander here who can lead 60 troops into battle. I have been using this guy a lot. His equipment is pretty standard, I think, for a commander of his resources. Excuse me. What is this guy? Oh, a sacred leader. Okay, I don't think I've ever used any of these guys before, but that could be useful. Having a sacred leader lead the sacred oathbound into battle, and then you have this this guy here who's an actual level 1 priest and sacred with them as well, and they can all bless. You can just have this giant blessed army. Oh, that'd be awesome. I should probably try to do that. Okay, so then we have the researchers, which we've already seen. Then we have the Chud Jarl. So leadership of 80. He's also a level 1 priest and sacred. Magic resist 14. Attack skill, defense skill is slightly above average. Hit points 19. Strength 14. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, especially since he's sacred. And since he's sacred, with all the blessings we get, which is actually covered in our, I believe, our introduction video and also Daz's 1 through 24 video, we can kind of make this guy into a thug, I think, since he's also sacred. So thugs are people that you deck out with a lot of weapons, and the goal is that you can have one unit take out small armies by themselves. And since this guy is sacred and a priest, he can bless himself, give himself insane bonuses to his stats because of being sacred, and if we deck him out with a lot of magic items, he could be really powerful. But that's probably going to be further down the line after I start actually forging items to begin with. And then we have this guy who can only be recruited here. 340 gold. Alright, 15 protection, 15 hit points, 18 magic resistance. Holy crap, that is insane. 13 strength, 14 attack skill, 20 defense skill. Okay, never mind. This is the thug, because this guy is also sacred and he's glamored. Oh my goodness. Not to mention he's also a mage. I've never actually looked at this guy before, I don't think. Like I said, because I just didn't want to hold up the crew, so I was just kind of building some basic armies in the first 2 years. Wow, this guy is insane. Holy crap. Okay. You're being recruited immediately. Cancel the recruitment of that mage. Oh my goodness. So I think I'm going to start upgrading my basic troops from the Huskarls to the Herdmen here. And then I have 11 resources left, so I could buy 2 of these guys. But I would only be doing that because of my resources left. Are they really worth it though? 18 hit points, 14 strength. They have very high damage. They do berserk. I could probably put these guys in like a flanking force, and then they would come in from the side, and they could probably deal a lot of damage, I think, with 23 base damage. Yeah, okay. I'll recruit some of these guys every turn then. And we have 1 resource left. Okay, so we're done with our home. Let's take a look at our spells. I've been going down conjuration specifically for my undead plans. But I haven't even really looked to see what all the specific spells that the Venaris get that are highlighted in blue here. So let me see here. We have the Simargul, Air Gem 1. Caster summons this thing. It's a strange winged dog from the lands of Rust. It is sometimes summoned by mages to aid in hunts and patrols. Okay, that doesn't sound too imposing. Firebird. Firebird is a legendary bird with a brightly glowing plumage. It lives in the far wilderness of Rust and is often sought by heroes for its ability to bring good fortune. But we also need a Astro Mage level 1 and a Fire Mage level 1. I don't think any of my casters are Astral Mages by themselves. Or are they? I don't think so. Let's go to recruit again. Yeah, that's not even a possibility for my basic mage. Is it for this guy? No. So the only way I can even get that spell is if I empower somebody with Astral Magic level 1. That's kind of odd, since that's a Venaris special ability. Because again, it's highlighted in blue. That's odd. That they would force you to empower to get that. Anyway, it's probably pretty good. I should probably try it. Contact Siren. The caster contacts a siren and persuades it to aid him. The siren is a magical half-woman, half-bird of Russ. It has the head and chest of a woman, body and lower parts of a dark bird. Siren is the most sinister being. It can speak with the voice of saints and entice men, tell them of future fortunes, and lure them into lifelong slavery. I wonder if that's like an assassin type of creature. I'm curious to see what the siren is. Sloth of Bears. Great bears and binds them to his service. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. Caster summons and sends a Void Yanoi. I don't know if I've heard of what that is. To a distant sea province. Looks like you can have up to 4 provinces away. It's a water spirit that resembles a man with the lower parts of a fish. It is covered in black fish scales, algae, and mud. They generally dislike humans and can only be coerced into servitude with the aid of magic. They are powerful users of water magic, but cannot leave the water. That could be really good. With my undead plan, I can send an army of undead and then cast this guy to be their mages in the underwater battles against all the independent nations down there. Alright, water gems required 16. Summon a Rusalka commander. Oh god, that's a lot to read there. Spirit of a young woman that commits suicide by drowning herself after being scorned by her lover. That's pretty specific. She must now haunt the waterway where she took her life. Parents of a young, pale, and beautiful naked woman with green eyes. She likes living men and will come out of the water at night to climb a tree and sit there singing and combing her hair. Okay, here we go. Here's what we need. Skills in water and death magic, and is able to bring her companions with her under the waves. Oh, so she has water breathing skill. That's awesome. So water breathing allows a certain number, depending on what the water breathing number is, of troops to accompany the commander in the water, even if they are not amphibian or sea creatures. So that's really cool. I have actually cast the Awakened Draugr. They're pretty cool. You only get 3 of them, but they seem pretty damn strong. Actually, I can just show you those, I guess. And it looks like we have a ton more spells that we haven't even unlocked yet, just in the Conjurations tree. So let's go to army setup here. And where are those Draugr? Yeah, they're with my Bane. So yeah, that's basically just like, you know, they're undead Vikings. They have Chill 3, which creatures surrounded by unnatural cold. The cold is most intense during snowy weather in cold provinces, so that really helps against the heat, I believe. Or do they cancel out if it comes up against a Heat 3 creature, which we saw earlier in this video? I'm not exactly sure. But, you know, look at their stats. They're pretty damn beefy, but they're also very expensive. I think it's 12, was it 12 death gems just to cast 3, which is insane. But still very cool to summon. So this is my main army that's sieging the castle. We have an entire group of my sacred troops, which are kicking ass. These are obviously my basic troops that I've been using and that I'm now upgrading to the herdmen. And I have another group right there. I have some heavy infantry I just recruited from a random province. There's my priest who can cast blessing, basic leader, researcher, well, caster. Yeah, so that's my main army right now. And then of course I have this side army coming up to handle these guys, so we're going to move them there. What else are we going to do? Oh, I need to move this priest over here so that Daz can relinquish this territory to me. That way I have almost all the territories around my province, or my castles, so that, you know, I can pump out more troops. I obviously need to take out this province as well. We also need to claim this throne, but my disciple's way up here, so that's probably going to have to wait. What else is going on? So Joe just conquered that, so he's fighting the Machatka. Alright, so I'm going to have... I wonder if this is a large enough army to take these guys out and then move through and take this army out as well. Because I really need to help Joe up here on the northern flank, but also keep the Satis at bay. It's a lot to handle. I think that's actually going to do it for my turn, though. I'm moving him so that he can relinquish the territory. Those guys need to stay there. I guess I can try to summon. I have 12 death gems. Oh, right. I can't summon. I'm not on a laboratory. Duh. I actually built a laboratory out here just so I could summon on the front lines. I do need to build some more temples. I do need to do that. But that's going to have to wait. Because I need a priest to do it. So I'd either have to move my disciple or my one priest here out of the siege to do that. And I need them both there just in case the Satists try to break that siege. So that is not an option right now. I should research or recruit more priests. Whew, well, that's a lot of things we need to do. This game is far from over. In fact, right now I think it's pretty even though it looks like the enemy has a lot of large armies. I think it's pretty even. Because you have Daz, who has probably a lot of income, as well as 2 castles, who's going to constantly be bringing out troops. And you can see that his main forces are these horsemen, and I believe he can move them up to 3 tiles. So he is very mobile, able to send forces wherever they're needed. So even though it looks like they have a lot of armies on us, I think we're still pretty okay. And yeah, I think that's actually going to do it for this turn. I don't really see anything else I can do instead of like just increasing defenses in certain places. I guess I could try recruiting more basic guys. And maybe just kind of come around and collect them at some point. No. I won't recruit them. I think I will end my turn like this. Because I don't think there's enough troops here. Obviously, and also I don't have any leaders to really put these guys in, so. But I will when this guy is out. This guy's insane. He's going to devastate. Really glad I looked at these units this time around. So yeah, that's going to do it for this turn. I can't guarantee when the next turn's going to be up. It's just kind of at the mercy of everybody whenever they have free time to play. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care.